All right, welcome to Your Time, Your Money, the show where your time is just as valuable as your money, and we know that. Today we've got a great topic, Matt. I'm excited to cover with you.
Yeah, cybersecurity, man. It's going to be, it's something that I feel like any generation is going to need help with this.
Yeah,
right?
a little disclaimer. We are by no means cybersecurity experts.
I did see this really cool stat last week, actually. If you were born between 1980 and 1995, if you're one of those in that gap, you've experienced the old school technology like A-Track and VHS, but you also experience and landline, right? A lot of people don't know what but then you've experienced the internet and a cell phone and picture magazine.
Security was a lot easier for that prior generation. That's when your
easier.
glove box key actually secured mostly everything. And for those of you who don't know, actually people would put gloves in the glove box.
Right? Yeah.
So let's jump into it. So as always, it's your time
And your money.
So I'll let you do the honors.
Oh, cool.
Flip
Thanks.
the old tchotchke here.
We're actually getting some pretty cool tchotchkes. I can't wait to show off the new ones that we're getting. I'm excited.
Let's start, I guess, with clients understanding our end of things as advisors, right? Because some of the kind of unsafe practices that clients do that we try to control, but we can't because not every client's aware that they're causing the problem a lot of times.
Most of the time, anything you send from your cell phone is recorded somewhere, right? Anything you text or email or instant message or Instagram or Facebook, if you put it on your phone, it goes somewhere.
Yeah. The most common cybersecurity no-no that we get is clients emailing us with simple things in the email that they don't see a problem with, but can create kind of identity theft.
I have to update this. I have to change that.
Yep. And specifically, they put in full account numbers.
Ugh.
They put in social security numbers in the email. They put in dates of birth. They put in full names. You may feel like, oh, my email's safe or secure, but usually your email's got to go through other servers to get to where they are.
Right. It's amazing. If someone actually looked and said how many servers my email hits before it gets to you, it's usually like 7 or 8. And usually it goes and gets routed through a Chinese satellite, or it gets routed through an Austrian satellite, or it gets routed somewhere out of the world and into outer space and then back to the world.
Yeah. So, the very first thing clients can do is just stop emailing account statements, socials, dates of birth, pertinent information. And
if they do,
there is a secure way to do that.
The bracket.
And almost every company has some type of secure email. Right. Where for us, we put the word secure in brackets.
Right. What's a bracket? It's, I think the number. What is the number 0 and the number?
Well, that's parentheses. Brackets are below it.
It's not parentheses. What does it next do?
But this is just for our internal system, so that's not necessarily other companies out there.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So for us, it's a bracket.
So for us, what we do is we send an email to somebody that says secure, and that comes through an encrypted link that then they can reply through and attach documents, put things in there, and then it's password protected. So in order for you to get into it, us to get in, we have to enter a password so that we can see it, right?
Yep.
And that encryption is key because if you're doing that, for instance, with our firm, you're probably doing it with your bank accounts information, your company 401k information to your HR department. Yeah. Those are all unsecure practices that we want to get clients to stop doing.
Again, like don't text message stuff. Don't even leave stuff on a voicemail, right? Like make sure you're talking to the person that you're giving the information to, and they're writing it down, and then they're shredding it when they're done, right?
Yeah, even sometimes it's a quick photo they want to send you of something they got in the mail, right? But it's got account statements on it, account numbers, it's got pertinent detail. Just really don't do it. If you're gonna send that out, call first, get an encrypted link from whatever organization you're dealing with, go that route, or
just mail it.
Verbally talk to somebody or just mail it.
Mail it or verbally, or drop it off, right? Like just drop off the statement, but if you're going to email it, use a secure link. And I mean, this is the age of consumer fraud, right, as it comes to cybersecurity. And every day, I think every day I get an average between 10 and 20 emails from different sites saying my account's been compromised, right? Oh my God, and what's your first reaction, right? To click on it.
Yep.
And if you click on it, what does it do? It gets into your phone. Now it encrypts your phone.
And that would be something called phishing.
Right.
And what, identity theft professionals will do is they will spam and send out tons of emails with all different subject lines because they don't know what you're going to click on, what you're not.
Right.
And it just might happen that day that you talked to Bob over in HR and he said, hey, I'm going to send you something. And lo and behold, something from Bob comes in your subject line and all of a sudden you click on it.
I'll tell you right now, one thing people need to be aware of is dark phishing or dark scamming. And there's been this new trend where our phones listen to us, right? Everyone knows our phones listen to us. And, if I say something very crazy into my phone, like, hey, I want polka dot umbrellas, right? And I say polka dot umbrellas enough times, guess what's going to pop up on my feed?
Yeah.
Polka dot umbrellas, right? Oh my God, look at this. I can buy these, right? Or the same thing goes for search bars. Like when you search something, so just be weary of if I've just talked about something or I just searched something on Facebook or on Amazon, that I now get an email for that.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things you can do when you get an email in and you're not sure about it, right? What you want to do is you want to hover over the sender, right? Because a lot of times the sender will have a name, but when you hover over it, the email address that it shows will be one that you're not familiar with. It might say, Paul Smith,
right? A weird
UK org or whatever, and that's one just quick safety tidbit, right?
Right.
And
but what if you're on your phone though?
Well, if you're on your phone, you can still hover over and you can still see, you can click on the sender's email and see who the sender was, right?
Yeah.
You just don't want to click on anything in the email itself.
The attachment.
Or open up anything in the browser that it's alluding to or anything along that lines. And if in doubt, just let it go.
Just delete it.
Because if it's important, that same email is going to come back to you and it's probably going to change and say, hey, this is the second attempt to get hold of you.
Right. Which a lot of them look at.
And even then,
second attempt. This is the second attempt. They're trying to get hold of you.
Sometimes that's the first one, but right. But that's most common way of identity theft, right?
Yeah.
Other ways is that there could be actual people that hang out at your workspace.
Right.
Maybe they follow you to a restaurant or anything along that lines, and they're waiting for you to leave your phone open, your computer open at a workstation. Maybe they come in through the front door, and they're janitor or whatever you think they are.
They pretend to be something they're not.
So you walk away from your workstation and you left your computer on and your password's available because you're logged in.
Right.
And it takes, some people 30 seconds to get that information. Right. So even when you walk away from your workstation, you want to make sure that you're closing out your programs.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing in most office settings is that people have the Post-it notes.
Post-it notes
on
are the
their
worst.
screen that say username and password.
Right. There's my Post-it note. But here's the thing, though. We're in a world where I have, biometrically, I have 40 passwords, 50 passwords. I look at my phone, I look at my computer, and it recognizes me, and then it logs me in, right? So a lot of people, they struggle finding the right way to manage all those passwords and usernames.
Well, here's a suggestion that may work for people that need to have different passwords for different accounts, right? So I'm just going to use an example. So let's say that your password is Big Dog 102. Right? You could take that password and use it for multiple sites, but change it. So for instance, let's say you have a Verizon account.
Yep.
Right? Big Dog 102. Maybe you take the first three letters of the site Verizon and you capitalize it, VER, and then Big Dog 102.
Right.
Or then if you need that password for Best Buy, capital B, capital E, capital S, Big Dog 102.
Right.
Technically different passwords, but it allows you to remember, hey, here's my one core password, and this is my strategy. Right?
Reverse capitalization works really well too. So the first letter is lowercase and the rest are all caps. That's a good way to shred scammers because they try all the funny exclamation points, dollar signs, right? Apostrophes.
Yeah.
So
what you don't want to do is you don't want to have something written at your desk where it's going to be. We understand and we encourage spouses to know what the full account household passwords are for their financial accounts, right? Heaven forbid you die, right? But keep that in a fire safe. Keep that somewhere safe. Keep that somewhere where you need to really put thought into where this book is for passwords.
But we talked about with the estate planning side, where we have an appendix that should be with your estate plan. And that appendix should have all your usernames, all your passwords, and that should be on file with your attorney in a lock case, right? And then if you do need to get involved with that, then your spouse can go and the appendix is there and you can get that work done. But another thing I was going to tell you though is don't give your password to somebody for them to log in for you, especially or don't log in on somebody else's computer.
Well, and then what scammers will do too is they might have you engage in kind of fun game activities.
Right.
Asking like, hey, what was your maiden name?
Right.
Or, hey, what was your last 3 pets' names?
Even better, go one further than that. Do you want to win this cool car?
Yeah, what's your favorite color?
Right. But then they'll ask you these things on the winning the car. If you can win this cool car, you can win this $1 million home if you just sign up here.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, those questions start getting populated.
And those questions, a lot of times, are the security questions, just phrased a different way, that a lot of programs ask.
What street did you grow up on?
Right. If I hang out with you enough, even if I'm not just trying to steal your identity, and I know that, Matt Turillo's favorite car is a Chevelle.
Oh, yeah.
Or I know, his favorite color is this or his favorite color is that. Yeah. I could run through quite a few guesses using some of your favorites and probably run into a password occasionally.
Kids' names, mom and dad's names, right?
Right. Date of birth.
Right.
These are all common things that people use.
What's your sign?
Their password, right? And, it doesn't take much but a really good computer program to just be on for a couple hours running every possible variance once you put those things into it.
Yep.
Right. And that's one thing too I want to spend a little time on.
Sure.
Is cybersecurity has changed a lot with this world of AI.
Oh, a ton.
And hackers are using AI technology to make it easier to scam individuals.
Well, sometimes even with AI, what hackers are using, they can just take it right off your phone. Yep. If they're close enough to you.
Yep. I mean, I have an example here. I printed out some examples. So, a mother in Arizona was terrified. She received a call from an unknown number and heard her daughter's voice crying on the other side. And the man demanded $1 million. And she didn't know where her daughter was. Oh my God. They used AI technology to
fake the kid's voice.
Record a 3-second clip of the voice, and then use the technology to take those 3 seconds and turn it into any wording, crying, or anything they wanted in the daughter's tone and voice.
Wow.
This is how advanced AI has gotten, that scammers are using this technology to basically con people.
Wow. That's wild.
And we don't know how far AI is going to go, but
it's going. It's already going.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
What's it called when we talked about this before? That's not Murphy's Law. It's the amount of circuits that go on a circuit board, it doubles every certain amount of time, and then but in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I
can't remember the name of the law, but there's a certain law that goes with how fast AI processes and how small a computer chip can be. But yeah, AI is going to be.
Yeah. Here's another one. Security researchers playing around with Chat GPT.
GPT, yep.
Ask the software to write malcodes, malicious codes.
Malware codes.
Now, there's supposedly protections that eliminate AI from being able to do that, but they were able to go around those protections, and the AI actually ended up filtering and creating malcodes that could go around malware. It was intelligent enough to know that there were certain patterns that it needed to do in the code that would allow it to get through malware and protection services by using AI strategy. Targeted cyber attacks. So just give an example. AI can impersonate human behavior, create convincing text messages or emails. They use the text and wording pattern of your emails and your text messages.
That's crazy.
So that you would think that even the misspelling errors and grammar that you would normally do
is natural.
That you would think it's from the other person.
Wow.
Because they're taking an analytical approach to all their past texts and emails and piecing it into a template that allows them to simulate you online.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they could read through 20 messages sent from one person and create a message based on the language, personality type, grammar, spelling errors, things along that line, so that you would think that it was from a person.
That's unbelievable.
Right? And and that's where people get caught, is once you believe that it's legitimate.
Oh, this is somebody I know. I'm going to give them information
your guard
they need.
comes down.
Right.
Right. Another common thing that I see seniors is they get a call.
Oh, the phone calls are the worst.
Right. You're from Microsoft,
right?
Or from
your
Apple.
Subscription is overdue, or your computer is hijacked, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do me a favor, go on and log in, and then they have you set up a link where they can see your screen.
Yep.
And then once they see your screen, they lock you out and they take the information, right?
Yep.
And they can do whatever they want.
Or they can see your screen and they say, "Oh, your computer has been hijacked. We need a piece of credit card information to get it updated for you, right? How much is going to cost you?" And there's 1,000 different things you can literally find online to watch scammers, and I actually prefer watching the scammers get scammed. It's actually kind of funny to watch.
Oh, on YouTube where they
as like they it's like a gotcha moment, right? Like they get the scammers get the person
Why
on the
are all
phone.
those call centers almost always in India? There's always like this call center.
No judgment zone there. I don't know, but they obviously have some type of heads up on that. So.
Well, a lot of it's because countries outside the United States, not just India,
Less regulated,
maybe less law enforcement. You know what I mean? People that are more desperate to get money,
Yeah.
whatever it might be, and a lot of times you can't get any recourse or anything back.
Oh
what they
no!
take.
As soon as you approve the transaction, or as soon as you're locked out, I've heard of people that have lost millions in their bank account, and they can't. It takes years to unmuddy that water.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to throw it out there for our listeners, but there's a good book out there. It's in its second edition now. It's called Hack Proof Your Life Now.
Yep.
So if listeners are interested in reading about cybersecurity and how to protect against it, that's a good resource that you can find. I know we've gotten that in and had them at different events to hand out to clients and what have you. But that's a very good book to act on. Within that.
I mean, if we
cybersecurity.
we work backwards, if you're 55 or over, if you do get a weird phone call, make sure you vet the phone call, right? Get some type of condemning information on the person who's calling.
Well,
right?
here's the simplest thing. If somebody calls you from your bank, from Microsoft, hang up.
Right?
Call the 800 number.
Call the 800 number.
And ask for the IT department.
Did you just try to call me?
Because if they did, you're in file in their system.
Right.
And they're going to know what the problem or issue is.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with hanging up on somebody and finding the 800 is legit and calling back.
The big one that just happened through COVID was Social Security. Not Social Security, I apologize. Tax returns. People were getting their Social Security number stolen, and then their tax return got hijacked. And then the people that needed to get a tax return, let's say I got a tax return in 2021, but mine got hijacked, right? I still haven't gotten it back yet. It's not going to happen for another year or two. Can you imagine how many people out there are waiting for the tax return from 2 years ago?
But somebody else filed before they did and got
Because
it.
someone had their Social Security number, filed before them, and took their return.
Yeah.
So this is where, again, how did the Social Security number get out there? Most likely it was entered on a website. Yeah. Most likely that Social Security number was entered somewhere. It's auto-filled somewhere, right? That's not secure, which is, again, I go back, don't log into your accounts on your friends' computers because you don't know what's on that computer. You don't know what that computer's connected to. Again.
And you always want to look for the little padlock up in the search bar.
Ready? So 55 or plus, 55 and up, if you get a phone call, it's okay to hang up. It's also okay to ask questions. Don't be the question giver, be the question asker, right? Who are you? What is your name? What is your rep ID? Where are you calling from? Get these pieces of information because if it is a scammer, they're going to hang up. They know that you're going to take charge in that conversation.
Or if not,
right?
Then you can simply, like I said, hang up.
Hang up and call the 800 number.
The 800
40
number.
years old plus, don't go on Instagram and don't send your personal information over the internet.
Yeah.
Statements.
Well, that's another thing.
Bank accounts,
with the
right?
younger generation, everything's phone and photographs.
That's what I'm saying. Phone calls
right?
usually 55 up.
You got to
and then
be
it becomes
conscious
phone.
when you're taking photographs.
Yes.
What's in your background?
Right.
If you're in the younger generation and you're about taking a selfie for Instagram or for whatever, and you've got your computer open in the background,
and my bank statement's right there.
You know what I mean? You take that picture, anything behind you, is now everywhere.
It's a major problem,
and
right? And there's no blurring it out, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you really got to be conscious of your environment. Same thing. Another common way that people hack, right, is let's say they go to Panera or they go to some cafe and they say, I'm going to do some work on my computer.
Yes, I'm not going to create a VPN.
Right. And what do? They sit at a high top table, and they're in the middle of the restaurant or whatever it is.
Yep.
And people are walking by them all the time.
I can just peek. I just peek over. Right? Oh, what's that? Oh.
Yeah, and if you don't have a screen blocker, if you're not protected,
you're in your scenario right about Panera, and there's someone that's peeking, right? A peeker. But then at Panera, you know what people do? They sit there and they'll hack Panera's network.
Yeah.
And they'll wait for you to get on. They'll see you with the briefcase. Oh, Cetera Investors, right? Okay. You open your laptop and you don't have a VPN on your computer. You don't have BitLocker. You don't have a VPN. Now the second you get on that internet.
VPN is virtual private network, I believe, right?
Yeah, VPN,
and that's a secure network that you
That's what I love about Cetera. Is that just so our clients know, Cetera has its own department where they attack phishing emails where if we get them, we send them to them. And also on our computers, on our workspaces, it's all encrypted, which is great.
In most financial firms, I mean, the amount of continuing education models that we have to do, it doesn't eliminate human error, but it helps keep it at top of mind when you're talking about, protecting a client's information or asset.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had to go through a litany of stuff just to be able to send regular emails from our server to our externals, right? Like whatever life insurance company we were using or whatever 403B company. That's the extent that our broker-dealer took to make sure the other servers were protected.
Yeah.
Right? And that's, I think, is really important for people to know because we care about their personal information.
Other simple things that people do is sometimes they leave their phone in their dash on their car.
Oh, man, leave your phone in your car.
And they go
Worst
walk
thing
in a
you can
store,
do.
or
right?
their laptop on the passenger side seat.
Yep.
Right? Take that stuff with you. Anything that's personal, secure, take it with you. Get a big bag, get a backpack, get a larger pocketbook, whatever it is that you can slide laptops, tablets, phones in.
Listen, we live in a world lacking personal relationships right now. Everything's automated, everything's online, everything is virtual, right? It's never a bad thing to have a conversation with whoever's calling you, whoever's talking to you. And, but like the Hack Proof Your Life book actually talks about deleting your browsing history, right? Make sure you delete your browsing history. Make sure that you don't leave passwords open on your computer.
Yep. And for clients that don't know, usually there's like 3 dots or a little arrow up at the top right of a screen.
Yeah.
That has a drop down, and then you'll see a tab that says History.
Right.
You click on that, and it gives you options.
Right. Control H and then delete your history so you don't leave all the stuff in your tabs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big problem.
Listen, I'm not super duper tech savvy. I know the basic stuff. There's ways that people can find your keystrokes. There's ways people can hack your internet and just mirror and clone your computers. I don't know any of that stuff. They have coders for that, right?
Yeah.
But I do know that there are some basic things you can do to make a scammer's life hell if you just are prudent with what you do with your information.
Yeah, and that's about it. Just always be conscious with it.
Yeah.
More than anything. So, hopefully listeners gain a little better understanding of email, some of the things they do, some of the different ways that hackers
what not to do,
information,
right? Yeah.
What not to do. Most importantly, don't send your social security number even to us through
text
your email.
message. Yeah, don't text or
Make
email,
sure you get a
right? Just call.
Link.
Just call us.
Secure link before you get there.
Yeah.
Phone is always the best way for any of that personal information or communication.
Right.
Right.
Or in person, even better, right?
Or in person, right? And then heaven forbid, we'll close out on this thought, heaven forbid that you are hacked or something is stolen or something. There are a lot of services that you can subscribe to that monitor your credit and monitor, your security for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. A lot of companies that are hacked or breached offer these free services to their clients to make sure that people don't take their information and then go and do things maliciously with it.
Try the phone trick if you have some time too. Polka dot umbrellas. Just have some fun with
it. You're getting the ads later.
I'm going to be getting the ads later for polka dot umbrellas. But.
So, I think we covered a good session today. Hopefully, people take some of these things to heart and start implementing in their life so that we can protect them. And as always, you can find us at 43 British American Boulevard, Latham, New York 12110. You can find us at yourtimeyourmoney.net, and that's .net for your net worth. Don't go to .com and click on and give your personal information.
Oh God, no! Don't go to .net
on that site. .net, or you can reach us at 844-444-YTYM for Your Time, Your Money. And as always, it's your time,
your money.